Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another great, super cool radio interview. I'm your host, as always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for tuning in. I got a killer guest joining me at this time. She's an incredible guitarist from Canada. She released her debut single titled Get Off My Stage very recently. Please welcome Sierra Levesque.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me on. Really excited to be here.
I know I'm very excited to have you on. I know we have quite a bit to discuss. Obviously, the debut single, Get Off My Stage, plus so much more. And I'm definitely very excited to chat with you.
Thank you. Excited to talk to you.
So I know as I said, we got quite a bit to discuss. Before we dive into everything, so I asked Bumblefoot this question in my interview, so I also ask you as well. If you could only listen to one genre of music for an entire year, which one would you pick?
It would be metal, for sure. And my favorite bands technically classify as metal, even though sometimes there's arguments around it. But any type of metal, I would say that would be, right now I'm really into like death metal, which is not something I would have ever expected. So if I had to pick right now, it'd be metal, but another year it would probably just be generic classic rock from the 80s, for sure.
Oh, right on. So which bands are you listening to right now?
Right now, one of my favorites is Amon Amarth, which is really crazy because I never would have expected to like them, but they actually opened up for my favorite band, Ghost, on their recent tour, and I got to see them twice. So after both shows, I was like, oh my goodness, even though the vocals are definitely crazy screaming, I really like the guitars and just the whole vibe of the Viking theme. So yeah, Amon Amarth is one of my favorites right now.
Oh no, definitely right on that. No, definitely have to be in the mood for that kind of music, at least for me. You kind of have to be like feeling it. But yeah, no, they got some really killer music. I think they're kind of underrated for like how actually like good they are, because people kind of just overlook it because of like the Viking stuff and don't actually like pay attention to some of their music.
It's really good. I've been enjoying it too much. So I kind of go through phases. Right now I'm on Amarth, but my favorite band will always be right now Ghost. So yeah.
Right on. Do you have a favorite Ghost album?
Yes. Actually, my dad was just asking me this question yesterday. I'd say that answer changes every day as well. But right now I really am into their newest album from 2022, Impera. But yeah, I would say it changes every day.
Oh no, they're awesome. Definitely, I really enjoy their music because just like they're so dynamic with everything. Just like all the styles they incorporate, they're amazing.
For sure, love them.
All right, so now focusing on you now. So I'm curious. Before we start talking about your debut single, I did want to talk about. So how did you get started in music? Were there like any like people, events, concerts that kind of inspired you to pursue music?
For sure. Well, I've actually been doing music for quite a long time. I was 3 years old when my parents heard me singing along to an Avril Lavigne song in the car, and they were surprised that I knew all the lyrics. So they thought, you know what? Clearly she must like it. And that's when they decided to put me into musical theater. So I did a whole bunch of different shows. I was Annie and Annie. I was all this different stuff. And I did that for quite a while. And then I started taking singing and piano lessons at age 7. That's actually also when I wrote my first song. And from there, drum lessons at age 10, guitar lessons at age 12, bass lessons at age 13, and now I'm 18. So ever since I was 7, I used to, write songs for fun, but now I do it fully, and I'm actually doing an online bachelor degree in songwriting now. And so, yeah, I would say my real performing start happened when I was 3, but I've been doing rock music and just singing my own songs since I was 7.
Oh, right on. Now, I've also heard, so like you play all the instruments, or at least most of the instruments on your music. Is that correct?
Yes, every single one. So what I do is I record the guitar, rhythm guitar, lead guitar, bass, drums, piano, synthesizer, singing, and then I record that all here on my computer and send all the tracks over to Bumblefoot, who mixes, masters, and produces my songs. So it's definitely great to be able to play everything.
So which instrument did you learn first?
First was piano.
Okay. Right on. What do you think is like the strongest instrument that like that you play?
Probably guitar, yeah, for sure. I've definitely been branded now as a guitar player, especially because I post a lot of covers on Instagram, and throughout COVID, I was doing a lot of solos on Instagram as well. So guitar is definitely my number one instrument next to voice, but I definitely kind of try to stay consistent throughout and have a bit of knowledge in everything.
Oh no, right on. Definitely, it helps so much, especially when you're writing and performing all of your own music. That you have to be very diverse with all the instruments that you learn and can play.
I try my best for sure.
So I'm curious for you. So like obviously, you do. I've seen a lot, especially like on I think Instagram and TikTok. You do a lot of covers. Is it like a different like just like mindset to like perform or to write and record and perform original music compared to covers?
For sure, covers is I find easier because all you have to do is learn the chords, learn the lyrics, and then the hard part is really making it your own so that it doesn't sound like you're just doing a black and white version of the song. So that's probably the hardest part. But for my own songs, I find it's a lot easier because no one else has any opinion on how it should sound or anything like that. And then when I get to perform them, I like to change it up sometimes, add a few things here or there, or do an electric or acoustic version. So it's definitely a different game doing covers versus originals, but I'll always pick originals first for sure.
All right, I like that. I like that. Well, obviously, a big reason I'm chatting with you is because your debut single, "Get Off My Stage," you definitely for a debut single came out very hot with this one. So, like, what was the inspiration for the single?
Well, back throughout COVID, the rapper turned rock star Machine Gun Kelly was in the press a lot for dissing other rock stars like Corey Taylor and just doing all these crazy things. And I thought, you know what? No rocker, especially no female rocker, has done anything to get back at him from the rock community. So I thought it would be a fun little exercise to write my own diss song for him. And it actually turned out pretty good. I enjoyed it, and everywhere I performed it live over the past few years, people always have a great response, laughing about the lyrics and always saying, haha, yeah, Machine Gun Kelly. Like, it's usually one of the ones that got the most response. So I thought, you know what, if I'm going to start out with a song, might as well do this one. You never know what his move's going to be next. Maybe he'll go into another genre again. You never know. So I thought, might as well put it out, and people seem to like it, and it's all fun and games. So people seem to like it and find it funny too.
No, I definitely did. I thought it was very enjoyable, and it definitely a hot way to start out. Releasing music, but I definitely really enjoyed it. And I saw like there was some humor in it, and definitely just poking fun on a lot of stuff as well.
For sure. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Of course, of course. So has there been any response from Machine Gun Kelly or anybody in that circle?
Well, not technically. I did send it to his guitar player, Sophie, back when I was first getting ready to release it, and I said something along the lines of, like, oh, I think you should hear this, ... and she actually read my message. So, I know she saw it on Instagram, so I'm not sure if she ended up hearing it or anything like that, but, one of these days, I'm sure something will happen, and hey, maybe he'll find it funny and want to do a show with me or do a new song. That'd be so cool. So it's definitely a cool thing, and looking forward to the day when I hear something back.
Well, I do hope that does happen at some point. But hey, it's at least it's out there and it can happen in the future as well.
For sure.
But you did talk about it, and obviously I know Bumblefoot talked about it in his interview as well. So I'm curious, before we start talking about like working with him, how'd you guys meet?
Well, it was November of 2019, and I saw an advertisement for, actually, my mom saw an advertisement for a guitar clinic he was doing in Ottawa. And I live in a small town in Ontario, Canada, about an hour and a half away from the capital, Ottawa. So I go there a lot, and he was coming there for a guitar clinic at a music store. And my family, especially my dad, loved the Guns N' Roses Chinese Democracy era. So I always grew up knowing who Bumblefoot was, and even at one time we had some pet fish, and one of their names was Bumblefoot, way long before I ever knew him. So kind of the universe was being crazy, and I ended up going to meet him in 2019, saw his clinic, I got him to sign one of my guitars, and then he started following me on Instagram. And at that time, I already had a guitar teacher here in my town, but unfortunately in March of 2020, he was diagnosed with brain cancer. So it wasn't looking too good, and unfortunately he ended up passing away the next year, but I knew that I was going to have to find a new guitar teacher. So I thought, you know what? Who would be my dream to learn from? Bumblefoot. So cool. I think he's one of the best, if not the best guitar players ever and alive. So really cool. And I reached out to him, and he agreed to teach me. So ever since April, I think it was, of 2020, we've been doing guitar lessons ever since. And about halfway through that time is when I asked him about producing my own music. And then now we have 20 fully recorded and ready songs. So Get Off My Stage is just one of 20.
Oh, no, right on. It's so cool how that that relationship started, and now where it is today as well. So like, how do you guys like work to produce music and stuff? Like, how do you guys meet and like talk?
Yeah, so what I do is I record everything on my computer, send it over to him, and he imports everything to his. And then we just do a little Zoom or FaceTime, and I'm there for hours just watching him do everything. Sometimes he shares his screen so I can see what he's doing and learn about how to do it for myself. And yeah, it's just usually hours of watching and, oh, can you please do this? Oh, can you please do that? Thank you very much. And then yeah, usually that's how it works, and it's great because he's just so nice and talented, which is just awesome because, someone can have his talent but doesn't have to be as humble as he is, and he definitely is. So it's so great to just work with him and be a friend too. So nice.
Oh no, for sure. I just met him a few days ago from the recording of this interview when I interviewed him, and he was so cool and so nice. And it's just so cool because obviously sometimes some people in industry not so nice. So he's cool that he is so nice and so courteous with everything.
He is for sure, and just great. Every time I get to record or produce a new song with him, it's just always a treat. It's very fun.
Oh no, for sure. I bet. So I'm curious, what is like the best advice Bumblefoot has given you?
He's given me so much. Let me try to think of one specific thing. That's a good question because yeah, he's given me so much. Let me think here. One great advice he has given is do what you're doing for yourself because you're never going to be able to prove anything to anyone or change anyone's mind about you. If you are proud with the work that you're doing, then that's a success in itself. So that's kind of what helped me decide to even release this song. I thought, you know what? It might have a bad reaction. People might not like it, but hey, I think it's cool and I want to release this as my first one. So I decided to, and that's just one thing, but he definitely has a lot of great advice and mentorship that he's given to me over the years. So grateful for that.
Oh no, right on. Sounds awesome and really great advice too. You got to please yourself first before you can please other people and release the music that you want to release. So like with the new single "Get Off My Stage."
Yeah, for sure.
So how did he feel about having this as your first single to be released?
Well, he thought, you know what? He knew because he watches some of my live streams of my performances, so he knew the reaction of how people usually like that one. And he thought, you know what? As long as people know that it's fun and games and you don't actually hate the guy, I'm sure then it could be a good idea. So ever since I've released it, he's been luckily and thankfully promoting me to any people who he meets or interviews that he does, which has been great. And yeah, he seems to like it. So you know what? I told him this is the only diss song for now. I said, I promise the next few will not be diss songs, and the next few that I have planned to release are definitely not. So so I kind of wanted to start off strong and then after that really show everyone a lot of what I can do.
Oh no, for sure. Right on. So I'm curious. You're talking about new music. So like, what can people expect from like the new set of music from you? There we go. Sorry, couldn't talk there for a second. So what could people expect from the new music from you?
Yes, well, they can expect a lot of difference from Get Off My Stage because this song is upbeat, electric, kind of catchy, punchy. A lot of my other songs really vary. I have fully piano and string songs, fully acoustic. I would say my sound really varies all the way from Ghost and Heart to Scorpions, System of a Down. Like, I would say every song you hear from me, you'll hear a slightly different inspiration, and that's what I usually describe my music as because a lot of people say, oh, what's your sound? Well, my sound is the fact that I have a whole bunch of sounds. There's never really one thing that sticks out except for my voice. My voice is always consistent, sounds mostly the same. I haven't tried out screaming yet, but maybe one day. So yeah, definitely a lot more to come and a lot of versatility in my sound for sure. I think the next song might have something to do with acoustic rather than electric, just to kind of show off that aspect. And even topics of what my songs are about go all the way from dissing someone to a priest who secretly worships the devil. I have a song about that. Like, I can go all the way. I have many different sides. So that's what I can say to people. And a date that people will want to keep in mind for sure is February 2nd of 2024, which is 02/02/24. Thought those were really cool numbers. So stay tuned for that.
Well, definitely a great date to keep in mind for everyone watching and listening. But it sounds like for you, you have a very wide range. Not only just as you said with like the music styles, but also some very interesting themes that are coming up. In I'm very curious about what new music is going to come from you next. But so I'm curious. So you said you have a very diverse like musical range. Are you doing any rapping anytime soon?
Not right now, but I actually do hope one day to do a song that combines rock with rap, kind of like how Post Malone did a collaboration with Ozzy Osbourne. That was so cool, and Travis Scott was in it too. So I thought, you know what, something along the lines of that. I would love to have a rapper or even R&B artist featured in one of my songs someday, just to kind of like mix up the game. A heavy electric guitar with some rapping, with some really soulful singing. I thought that could be a cool idea, so stay tuned for that as well.
All right, and that sounds awesome, especially when it's done very well, like with Post Malone and Ozzy Osbourne and Travis Scott. I really enjoyed it. I know some people were very split on that. Some people like hated it or loved it. I really enjoyed it.
Me too. I love Post Malone on his own, so when I saw that he was doing that, and I love Ozzy, so it was just a really cool collaboration, and I think more of that should happen, because that's kind of the only way that innovation happens, is when you try new things, different people, different genres, and kind of like when Aerosmith did the Walk This Way cool version, kind of like on that line. So I see myself doing something like that one day for sure.
Oh, right on, right on. Definitely, hopefully looking forward to that. Hopefully down the line at some point. Now I'm curious because I know Bumblefoot told me just briefly told me about this story, so I'm curious like kind of how this fully came about. But he says you performed on stage with LA Guns. How did that come about?
Yes, well, I had the really, really cool opportunity to actually play 2 shows at the Whiskey A Go Go back in April. The first show was opening for Faster Pussycat, and that was sold out. And then the second night was opening for LA Guns, and that was sold out. So it was 2 nights in a row, like just a dream come true. Always wanted to have my name on that sign, and it was there. So that was so awesome. And prior to doing this performance, I had reached out to Tracy Guns and the whole band on Instagram and posted my own cover of their song Ballad of Jane. And I said it would be a dream come true to be able to perform this on stage with you. And I thought, you know what? It's a long shot, but the worst they can say is no. So Tracy ended up seeing it. He followed me and he said yes. So then when it was time for showtime, I arrived a bit earlier. I actually got to do a sound check with the band on stage, which was really cool. And then did my little set opening for them. Then whenever they came on, it was towards the end of the set. And I went on and played guitar, acoustic, and sang with Phil doing some like on and off. He would sing one, I would sing one verse. And it was really cool and just definitely a dream come true moment, especially being in Los Angeles as well.
Oh no, that sounds incredible! Incredible experience, opportunity for both with both those bands. I've interviewed Phil Lewis and I've interviewed Sam Colton, who is now the guitarist for Faster Pussycat. Incredible dudes, and just them and the whole band. They're just incredible.
I know, they were so nice and still supporting me on Instagram and social media to this day, so it's really cool. Sometimes I'm on Facebook and I see on a post, because I think Phil on one of the social medias, his name is Jackie the Lad. That's his like username. So sometimes I forget who it is, and I'm like, oh, that person commented. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Phil. So I have to go answer, and it's really cool, and hope to perform with them again someday for sure.
No, I hope that opportunity, or for really any bands of that caliber too, as well. If that opportunity happens again for you. But really quick, fun story that Phil Lewis told me, because he was talking about like the live set and all that. He says the song that causes like the most fights in the audience is "Ballad of Jane."
Oh wow! Oh my gosh!
Yeah, he says like, yeah, we have a nice, slow, like, great, ballad, and like there's a fight happening, like, in the second row or something like that. I don't know. He doesn't know why that happens, but he says that is a song people fight to.
Wow, maybe it's to get a better view. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh wow. Well,
Yeah, I
yeah.
didn't know that.
I don't remember there being any fights back when
Well,
I did it, but I was also very nervous, so I was kind of trying to look as many places as I could. I wasn't just staring at one spot. So yeah, next time I'll have to check that out if I ever get to do that again.
yeah, that came straight from Phil Lewis, so that's what he
Wow,
told me.
that's really
Yeah, so I'm glad you didn't see any fights, that nothing happened at the show you performed at. But I'm curious for you, are there like any bands that you would like to like collaborate or perform on stage with?
For sure. I think the list could go on forever. One person who I really want to collaborate with and do a song is Bumblefoot, because I love his singing as well, not only his guitar playing. I love his singing from all of his solo work that he's done, and he sang for Asia as well. So I just love his singing, and I keep telling him, come on, we got to do one. So one day, hopefully that would be really cool. And then my favorite band, Ghost. It would just be a dream come true to open for them or have a chance to perform with them one day. That would definitely be amazing. And yeah, those are right now the two main ones who are kind of on my goal list, but just so many people. Nancy Wilson of Heart is a great inspiration, and I actually got to perform with her in May of 2022. So that was another crazy moment. I got to perform Crazy on You and Barracuda by Heart on stage beside her. So that was just insane. And definitely hope to perform with her again, but it was just another moment where I was like, don't mess up, don't mess up. It was fun.
Oh, that definitely sounds like that sounds like another, like, just incredible experience with another music legend as
I know,
well.
it was crazy, and I just tried to tell myself, like, pretend it's someone else, but then I was looking next to me and there she was. So it was definitely cool, and hopefully one more time someday I'll get to perform with her.
I hope so. And hope it happens in the near future as well, because that'd just be another incredible experience. So I'm curious. I got a couple more questions, and we close out this interview soon, talking about your future plans. But do you have a favorite guitar that you like to perform live with?
Yes, I would say it definitely does vary. Depends on my song that I'm doing, depends on if it's electric or acoustic. For electric, I really love the Tony Iommi signature Epiphone SG that I have. Unfortunately, I don't have it at this house, but at my dad's house, I have that one, and I take it with me on all my shows in the US and farther away in Canada. It's a really cool guitar, black, silver, matches a lot of the clothes that I wear as well. And so I just love Tony Iommi, Black Sabbath, and it's a great guitar, really performs well. So that one for electric, Epiphone. And then acoustic-wise, I have an amazing Fender Acoustasonic that Fender was kind enough to send me. So it's kind of like a hybrid, but it sounds great acoustic, and love using that one as well. So that's a great one. So I would say it changes a lot, but those two are usually always at my shows.
Oh, right on. They sound. I think I've seen. Have you posted a few? I think at least the electric. I think I've seen online.
Yeah.
I love the color scheme on that. It looks amazing.
Yes, I just love it, and hopefully one day I'll be able to get Gibson SG. That's kind of the goal, because Epiphone's so cool too, but everyone wants to have a Gibson SG, so one day hopefully that will be happening.
Oh no, right. Well, if you get a signature line with a guitar company, would it be Gibson?
It's so hard because I have so many different brands. I think whatever company would be interested in having me, I would be happy with. So
Yeah, right on.
great. I love Gibson, love Epiphone, love Fender. I also love ESP. I have a lot of really cool ESPs, but Gibson's always one of the top. Same with Fender. So any company that would even offer for me having a signature guitar just would be a dream come true. And I kind of already have in my mind like what it would look like, but I don't know what brand yet. So hopefully one day we'll see that come to fruition with someone.
Oh no, right. I definitely hope that happens for you. Can you tell me what the color scheme would be?
Yeah, I kind of see for sure something to do with like metallic silver chrome. I really love silver, and I don't often see too many silver guitars unless it's sparkle. So I would like just a silver guitar, like maybe even matte silver, I'm not sure. And definitely probably a flying V because that's kind of become one of my signature shapes. I started out with this actually, not that one, sorry. This white flying V here was one that I started out with when I was 12. And so this is Epiphone, and I really love just a flying V shape. It's also my profile picture everywhere is with a red flying V that I have. So love the shape and would love something, yeah, silver, probably all silver with black detail. I think that would look really cool. And yeah, I'm not sure what brand yet, but for sure, Flying V is something that I would love.
Flying V's just look incredible to me. I just love they just look so badass.
I know, they're so cool, and so many amazing people have played Flying V's as well. Especially, I really love Randy Rhoads too, so definitely have the inspiration from there. And yeah, just that would be a really cool thing one day.
Oh no, for sure. For sure. But now as we're closing out this interview, just a few more things. So what are the plans for the rest of this year, 2023 and early 2024?
Yes, well, this year I actually just started my Bachelor of Arts in Songwriting online degree with Berklee College of Music. Started about 2 weeks ago, and so that's going great. So that's taking up most of my time right now. But other than that, I have a few shows scheduled. Actually, next week on October 13th, I'll be opening up for the Killer Dwarfs in London, Ontario. And then in November, on November 10th, I'll be opening up for them again in Oshawa, Ontario. So I'm kind of treating that as like a mini tour with the Killer Dwarfs, which is so cool. They're amazing Canadian metal rock band from the 80s, and I just love their music, and Russ Dwarf is so cool as well. So that's going to be very fun. And other than that, I have a few solo shows here and there, but for now I'm really focusing on my degree, and then early next year, hopefully some more music coming out and more announcements to come. So again, stay tuned for 02/02/24.
Right on. Definitely keep that date in mind. I hope you have some great shows as well because they sound incredible. But real quick, for everyone watching and listening, where are the best places to find Sierra Levesque online?
Yes, so on every single social media platform, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, all of them, I have the same username, which is Sierra Levesque Music, and I would really appreciate your follow. My name is also the same on all Spotify, Apple Music, anything like that, just Sierra Levesque. And my song, Get Off My Stage, is the debut one that just came out, so I'd really appreciate you checking that out and giving me a follow.
Right on. Please check out and support Sierra Levesque. I will drop some links for Sierra Levesque in the description of this podcast. As I said, please check out and support Get Off My Stage. As she said, currently available on any of the platforms you listen to music. Make sure to check it out, give her a stream, like, and follow wherever you get your music. But Sierra, thank you so much for hanging out with me here on Super Cool Radio. I had such a great time chatting with you.
Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it. And thank you again to Bumblefoot for mentioning me and telling you about me. Really appreciate that. So thank you, and hope to be on again soon. Hopefully when I release some more music coming up.
Oh, no, definitely. I'd love to chat with you again. Hopefully, maybe next time around another release or so. But as I said, please check out and support her, and I'll leave some links in the description as well. But Sierra, thank you so much for hanging out with me.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
For Sierra Levesque, I'm your host always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Super Cool Radio. And remember, stay frosty.